Good morning, traders, and welcome to this week's weekly market analysis, Monday, the 13th of July. Before we get started, as always, please understand that any advice in today's session is of a general nature only and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration. All right, we'll jump straight into the analysis this morning. Let's kick it off with our Aussie dollar. And looking at the chart, we can still see the markings that we left on this chart from last week, that I put a boundary in there and we still have not left that area, and it appears that the market still continues to trade within that. So let me just extend my top line out a little bit and let's see what happens. I'm just going to also move the bottom one across. And what I really am very interested to see is I'm a little bit reluctant at the moment to trade in here. The only type of trade that I would be looking here is if we can get to that fringe again, produce an inside candle pattern situation. So if the market gets there, produces a reversal pattern, and then I would be happy to take a trade in the downward direction. Okay, but please make sure that we do wait for that confirmation, because this type of activity, the market is refusing to continue to drop back into this area here, which means it is definitely threatening that 70-50 level here of resistance that we've previously marked out. So it may well want to continue in this direction. So essentially what I want from the Aussie dollar is, if it does reach this top boundary where I'm marking right now, it produces for us reversal, price action reversal, well then I will be happy to take a trade in the downward direction. Okay, now if it does not go up there and comes down to this level here, I will analyze this one closely. We may get an opportunity to go into this direction as well if we do get a reversal. However, this point here has a lower probability than this one over here for a downward trade, and that's simply because we've only really got one level that it's supported, and it's not really true support at the moment. But we will watch it and we can make a decision if and when the market reaches that level. Okay, so that is my game plan this morning for the Aussie US dollar. Let's move along and have a look at the Euro USD. Now, Euro USD, we can see already that I've left this line on my chart, and very similar to the Aussie dollar. However, we have a higher level up there, which is above the current mark that I've left on the chart. It appears to me that we're kind of zigzagging in this region here, and we're creating some kind of consolidation before the market makes its mind up whether it's going to continue to push forward or if it will retrieve back and take a fall down. So when this type of chart presents itself, I really don't have anything other than I will look for an opportunity on the fringe. I will look for a reversal to occur there to perhaps attempt to trade it back down. Okay, but let's wait and see how clear that reversal confirms itself, if it does at all, and then we can make a decision on that one when that happens. Okay, at the moment I'm not looking at any buying options right now. The only possibility would be if we broke through and then it came back and then we look for the continuation in this direction, then I would be happy from some kind of a pullback level if I get reversal occurring in the pullback like this area here as an example. Alright, but that still seems to be a longer way away, so the immediate next possibility is on the fringe here, back down into this direction. All right, now I know that a lot of the traders who watch the analysis and the daily call like to trade simply off the level. Trading off the level is somewhat risky. There is no confirmation. It definitely carries a lower probability that once we do get the confirmation. The downside of the confirmation is that often we don't get the trigger. All right, so as long as you make up your own style, your own method, and you record it as part of your trading rules, well, then they're your trading rules. All right, for myself, I do like to wait for that confirmation to occur. All right, let's move along. Let's have a look at the US yen. Okay, US yen, we're still trading inside that converging triangle, and we're very, very narrow. We haven't broken the bottom or that top line. The trade that I like best on this is if we were to move to the top line, produce the reversal, and then trade it back down. That's the trade that I favor. That's the one that I want to happen the most, because simply this level, this top line is very, very nice with three beautiful touches, and we can see that the market definitely was resistive in those areas there. So what I would naturally want to happen is for the market to move back up, produce for me the reversal in this area here, and then shoot down and basically take advantage of that situation. So that's the only game plan that I'm considering at the moment with the US yen. The, the only other one is that I think I spoke about it last week, is the bouncy ball type scenario where the ball bounces, 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 and it could drop through this floor. But I'd like to see what happens at the very next level if we do approach that floor first. And look, there could even be a possibility to trade it up that way. Let's see what the quality of the candles that are produced at that fringe are, and then we can make a decision. If I do see something, of course I will call it out in the daily call. All right, that's our US yen. Let me have a look at the GBP USD right now. Okay, I believe I've got this. I had this bottom line marked in just in case the market came towards it, but it looks like it's moved away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it. I'm going to delete that line now. There it goes, and I'll be left just with that top one. So very simple. My GBP USD. The two options. Well, really, the only one option that I want to happen here is to come up to that level, produce a confirmation of reversal, and then trade it back down, and then essentially I would be trading this top resistance line. All right, this one's pretty straightforward. Will it happen? I don't know, but let's mark it and keep an eye on it to try and take advantage should it occur. US CAD, let's move it along. Okay, US CAD, we can see that once we made this break, we've been trading quite narrow in this area here, and really it's not showing any indicator of coming back or continuing down at the moment. So we're very much in the center of that range there. So look, this one, US CAD, we're not going to do anything this week on US CAD. It's a chart that does not look like it's presented itself too many opportunities. So let's just leave it alone. Okay, let's move along. Let me have a look at the Kiwi US dollar. I believe that last week on the Kiwi US dollar we were looking at a 4-hour chart. I've just dropped into a 4-hour chart right now. So this is a H4 chart. Sorry, it's a H4 chart. And we were trying to get something here to see if it shot up. Now, this is a classic example of not quite getting the pattern that we were looking for. We can see these candles here, these three candles, not really a reversal pattern, and it's unfortunate because look, the movement was very, very nice and it could have been a winning trade, but as I mentioned before, if I don't get the reversal, I don't attempt it because it could have just as easily continued to move in the downward direction. Alright, so that was a good example just to highlight my point from a few moments ago. So let me move back to a daily chart. On my daily chart, have I cleared that top level there? Let me just mark out this top zone here. Okay, let me zoom in a bit more if I can see it any better. Look, the level would be acceptable. I'm happy with the level, but I can already see that this was the top candle, and we were not there's between these three candles, any combination that I look at, that is not a reversal pattern. All right, so which basically means there is no trade, and even though at the moment there is an inside candle on these two, this candle here is not the highest one, so it would not be valid. All right, so unfortunately with this particular chart, even though we're on a level, it looks like nothing. So ideally what would be better to happen for us is for this to break through it, so that the level becomes a not level, if you want to call it that. If it breaks through, comes back, pulls back, gives us reversal, and then we continue the trade in this direction, because we can see that we are in some kind of an uptrend. As long as we can break through and make a new higher high in relation to that one over there. All right, so that would be the game plan for the Kiwi dollar. Let me just get rid of that marker there again, because it's throwing me off. So what I'm looking for is I would like this to get a little bit higher, so that this high breaks that high, then pull back, and then look for reversal, confirmation of reversal, and then shoot the trade in that direction as continuation of trend type trade. All right, that's Kiwi US dollar this week. Oil. Okay, so it seems that oil, after the big crisis and the big panic, once we've filled this gap, the market has definitely settled down, and it's not doing much at all at the moment. So really not interested in oil at the moment. Still a little bit too volatile for my liking, even though these candles are quite smoothed out and quite gentle. I'm just going to leave oil alone for the time being. All right, let's move along. ASX 200. I can see the ASX 200 is starting to converge a little bit. Let me show you. If I look at this, and I'll drop into a 4-hour time zone in a moment, but I can see that it's starting to give me a converging triangle. So it's starting to get narrower, which usually means we can break in either direction. Let's just drop in a time zone and let's see what it looks like. So I'm still on a daily there. Here we go. 4-hour time frame. Okay, let me just zoom out a little bit more. Let me adjust this line a little bit to suit the 4-hour chart. And let me adjust this one down the bottom. Okay, so now I'm looking at the ASX 200 on a 4-hour time frame. If I zoom in, got two nice touches on the top side where the market's shot off. Got two on the bottom side where the market's shot off. So the next natural trade which could come towards us and could be quite close because it's a 4-hour chart, could be just up here. So if it continues to push up to this top resistance line and it can produce for us a reversal pattern, then we can trade it back down, and that in fact would be our next available trade. So if you're really looking for a trade, this is the closest one. I have dropped into a 4-hour time frame to see it. If I don't drop into a 4-hour time frame and I go back to my daily chart, let's do that. As such, you could still get the opportunity, but you'll have to make it work here somewhere, okay, to try and trade it back down towards this side. Either way you look at it, we are approaching. Let's see if we can actually trigger something. So I'm going to leave this chart set on a 4-hour time frame so that I remember what I was looking at, and I'm going to put a marker over here so that I know that's what I was looking at. All right, last one for the week. Let's have a look at gold. All right, for me to look at gold properly, I'm just going to quickly look at a weekly chart for a moment. And the reason I'm doing that is simply because look at this. It's just been trending since September. This over here is September August actually, August 2018. So for the last nearly for 2 years, this is a 2 year trend. Okay, yes, it's had its down moments through small down moments throughout times, but this is essentially a 2 year trend where gold has gone from like 1170 all the way, we're at 1800 right now. Okay, now that's a big movement. Now just remember also, like, if your plan is you want to do a long-term trade, you want to hold for a couple of years, for example, trading a leverage product or a CFD is not necessarily the best instrument to do that in. Okay, you should look at other alternatives as well. All right, so don't forget that, because holding costs of a CFD can way up significantly, especially if you're talking about holding for 3 months, 4 months, a year, etc., etc. So look into that. I predominantly look at trading, so my trades on average last between, sometimes they could be 10 hours all the way up to, say, at times maybe 8 to 10 days as an example. Okay, and that's when I'm trading off a daily chart. If I drop down a time division, that can go from like 3 hours up to maybe 16 hours as an example. All right, so depending on the time divisions that you trade, how long your longevity in the trade can become. So going back to what I was saying with gold over here, it's been in a 2 year trend, and I wanted to really see that, and the levels that we are at the moment are still right at the top. Okay, so let me just go back into my daily. The only reason I wanted to see that is because I saw that there is a inside candle pattern here. That is a reversal pattern in itself, but a reversal pattern in the wrong spot really doesn't mean anything, and we shouldn't really be trading a reversal pattern when it's occurring just anywhere. Now, if this, let's pretend that there was a line there of resistance and then I get that reversal pattern, then yes, it would be a good opportunity to maybe take a short. But that's not the case with this particular chart, and as I showed you there on a weekly chart, we are at the top and we're continuing to trend. So the only kind of trades that we can really look at, and I mentioned that last week, is basically dips and continue to buy until the trend actually breaks. All right, and when I look at last week, we got a little one. Let me count back. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we look at last week, these two can. Let me zoom in so we can all see it a bit better. Last Monday, there was an inside candle right there. Those two there, and that's like a small dip. Okay, it's a small dip, and then that inside candle continued to go up. All right. So look, probably at the moment, gold, let's just hold off on it. Let's wait and to see until we can get some kind of a pullback, and then when we get an established pullback, then we can look for a reversal for the trend continuation. Okay. All right, that pretty much wraps up the analysis of the majors this week. Let's have a look at what we have on the agenda for terms of news coming up. There is actually quite a bit of news this week. I'll just show you the highlights. Okay, of course, on the daily call, I'll give you the specific times, but I'll just show you the highlights we have. On Wednesday from Japan, we've got the interest rates decision and the monetary policy statement. I've marked that in red. It's a policy, monetary policy statement. On Thursday from Canada, we've got interest rate decision from the Bank of Canada as well, plus their monetary policy statement. Okay. Also, we have New Zealand CPI on Thursday. Also Thursday, we have Australian employment rates and unemployment rates. Thursday also from Europe, we have interest rate decision and monetary policy statements there. So there's actually three central banks giving interest rate decisions this week. And then also on Thursday from the US, we have core retail and retail sales due out. They're the highlights for the week. That pretty much wraps up the session today, guys. As always, please feel free to contact us if you do have any questions. Follow me on Twitter at ChatFX for trade setups and breaking news. Most importantly, hope you all have a fantastic trading day. I'll talk to you tomorrow for the daily call. Bye for now.